there. Welcome back. Welcome live. I was checking the technology here. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are celebrating today. But before we go to our turkey and to our beautiful food and this amazing day, we're here to have a live session with me to see together how the scanning features of magicplan work. So how you can create your rooms in your floor plan with the LiDAR auto scan and the manual scan. I also have a Bluetooth laser meter with me because I know that sometimes it can be tricky. Let me just remove my screen 1 second so you can see me a bit better. Here we go. Okay, it was sharing itself. Okay, so I was saying that we also have a Bluetooth laser meter here because I want to show you how it's supposed to be used, because I get the question sometimes if it's possible to start creating a room from scratch with the Bluetooth laser meter. This is not possible, but I will show you what is possible and what you can do with your lovely Bluetooth laser meter. Okay, just so you don't wonder why sometimes I'm moving, I have the camera here set up, so Fernando could not join us. So I will do my best to stay in the camera so you can see me. Okay, now we can share my screen. Let me add it here. Okie doke. So, perfect. I see that we already have some questions. Maybe I can come back to you in a second. Here we have Fernando saying hi. Hi there. Okay, you can see. Okay, I see the comment from you guys. I'm coming back in a second about the open spaces. Okay. We also have a little poll here in the live. I see that a lot of you already selected if you use the LiDAR auto scan or if you have used it before, and I see that a lot of you use it. Okay. And some of you never used the auto scan or manual scan features. Perfect. Glad to know. Okay, we're also on Instagram, so if you have any comments, please feel free to write them down from whatever channel you're following. Now, I would say we can start with a brand new project, right? So we tap on the plus and we create a brand new project here. I want to show you something. So I leave my the cover of my tablet closed, but there's a reason why. I want to show you something right away. So we tap on the plus, we select our floor as we always do, right? We tap on insert room and the two scanning features are on the top. These are not available on all devices because not all devices have the same technology. It does not really depend on us. It depends on the manufacturer. So we will try to add it on all devices if we can, but right now, just in case you're watching and you don't see it exactly like this on your devices, just because these or one or two features of the LiDAR scanning are not supported. Okay, I will start with the auto scan. You can see initializing. Okay, now my tablet or the cover of my tablet is closed, right? So you don't see the room. If I tap on begin, I can select the room type. Let's say that's a private office. You see that it's black, so it cannot start. This can happen also if you have a cover that's maybe just covering the LiDAR sensor. So check it out if you see that it's not starting, okay? Because as you can see, now the sensor saw the light. It saw the light. So it started scanning my room automatically, okay? So you can see here, you have the 2D view of your floor plan that's guiding you, and it's saying what is being scanned. Now, don't wonder if maybe some objects will not be completely scanned here because I have a really, really intense light. You normally don't have this intense light in any regular house, apartment, or any, let's say, living space. Okay, so I go up, I move around a bit. Okay, let me rotate myself. You should see in my screen, right, what I'm seeing on the tablet. Okay. For example, this is a perfect example of what I was saying because we have a lot of light pointing there. So you see that this wall has been seen as a door, you see there. So I'm going to just delete it once we're done with the scanning, okay? Because it's just a regular wall, but if it detects a door. So just that you know, okay? Here, also, important note, you have the option to also take pictures, right? So you have this white dot. If you tap on it, you have this flashing light saying that you're taking also some pictures here in your room, right? You could say, okay, we have, I don't know, water damages down there in the corner. I didn't want to, I pressed the wrong button. Give me a second. Okay, perfect. I stopped the scan, but it's fine. You understood the process, right? With the white button, you can take as many pictures as you want while you're scanning your room. Let's confirm the scan. Now, you see that the green dot, it's me moving inside the room, right? If I now leave this room, I can start scanning the next room. So that's the, let's say, path, the technique that you would use if you would scan an entire apartment. Okay, so you would basically exit the room and tap on scan another room, and you start with that room directly, okay? And then you try to move around, and then the floor plan will be built automatically. Now, I tap on done. You can see that we have this window. We added recently, maybe some of you already saw it. Those that never use the scanning, probably not, but you can basically decide what you would like to include in your scanning. Okay, so you have the plumbing, appliances, furniture. Let's say that we're not interested in plumbing in this case. Okay, we can leave appliances and furniture. Well, we don't really have appliances here in the recording room, but anyway, we can leave it on. And also, very important, I created an automatic video while I was scanning this room. If we don't want to save it for privacy, data, any reason, right? We simply turn it off and we leave these remember my choices on. So the next time we don't even start recording the video. We can simply save and it's fine. Okay, we generate the floor plan. Now you see that here we have this like door that it's not existing, as I mentioned, but we simply delete it and it's gone. And the other measurements are good. We have the cupboard, we have this table, we have our door, okay, which are the main elements here. Now, I could do one thing, okay? So now we created our room with the auto scan. Now we have it in square meter. If you guys want, we can also change and check here in, let's say that we could also change. Let's go here, change unit in feet, apply changes, apply. Okay, so it's 198.17 square feet. Okay, perfect. Now, let me see if you guys have questions. Now we have the questions about the open spaces. I will get back to that, we said. Okay, otherwise no new questions. Okay, now, once I have my room, let me show myself. Okay, maybe for some of you might be important to have also the distances, right? So let's say here we have our table. We want to measure the distance from the table to the wall, okay? Or also wall to wall. It's absolutely up to you. If you want to measure the distance from an object to the wall, it works. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So we select the object, and on the left you see set distance, right? We select that. We tap on this dot of the wall and we tap on the other wall. I want to measure this distance. Now we have this blue number. I'm going to turn on my Bluetooth laser meter. See, give it a second. Okay, now it's on. I turn on the Bluetooth. I know that you cannot see both screens, but we have here, let me come a bit closer. The Bluetooth laser meter, which is on. Now I tap on this little blue number, and on the top we have laser, so we tap on that. Let me see if it's connecting. Okie doke. Perfect. Now we have it Bosch PLR40C. It's connected. Now we're happy with that. I can go out here and I position it here. I don't know if you can see my hand from there, but I basically position the laser against the table and I tap on the red dot to measure the distance. And we will see. Okay. Okay, it didn't really change. It was accurate. Perfect. Amazing. Otherwise, it would have changed, right? If it would have been a lot of difference, or if we would have had a lot of difference in the measurement, we would have had another number here that would have been changed automatically, right? So we just said, okay, it's fine. Perfect. So we also have the distance. In this case, we can also measure a wall. You would not see me, but I can go back there, here. So I can go, let's say here. Okay, we want to measure the length of the longer wall. So this one, going from the wall with the door and the wall behind my back. So I cannot go against it, but I can show you how it would work if I would be now against the wall. Okay, so let's pretend that I'm against the wall, but I'm here at the table and I would simply see, okay, now I selected the blue number. I have the laser connected. Okay, the Bosch one, perfect. Now we can take a look. I put my laser on 0. Today I cannot talk anymore. And we do the measurement. Okay, it should have been adapted automatically. Let me see. Yes, I think that the size has been recorded. You see that in this case it changed, right? Because it was a bit different. I wanted to show you what happened because this distance was exactly like the distance that we measured with the Bluetooth, with the LiDAR scan from the table to the wall, but the other one changed. Of course, I have the table, so it was just to show you. Okay, do we have questions until this point, or are we good to continue? No. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead. Now, we can also create our room with the other option. Let's say that now we are into a different room. Okay, let's pretend that we're in a different room. So we insert a room with the other option, manual scan. Okay, in this case, we can select, let's take another room just to change it. Let's do a kitchen. Okay, same thing, check that your LiDAR sensor and the camera are not covered by anything, so it will work. Otherwise, it may not work properly. In this case, I'm going from corner to corner. Now, I don't see that corner, right? You guys see, because it's behind the cupboard. So I tap with my finger, or I wait for the corner to be detected. Now it looks good, so I will keep it. Then I go down here and move a bit down there. Now let me let me rotate one time because I had the cable. Okay, and we're good to go here. Perfect. Now we're done. We go up to the ceiling, so the app knows how, let's say, how wide is our room, okay, and where is the ceiling, more or less. Now we tap on exit AR. Yes, I'm sure. I didn't detect the doors. You can see now that I have this corner down there that went a bit farther, let's say farther left, but I can edit my room, okay, like this. And it's perfectly squared. Now, I did not scan the door and the windows, but we can redo it and add them, or you can simply scan your room. And if you want, or maybe you don't need all the details, then you can say, okay, from the objects, let me add a door that fits my needs, okay, like this, and you can add it afterward. It's fine, right? So you can see we have the office, we have the kitchen. Now I can tap here and I can assemble my rooms, okay? So this is the way. Also, if you don't have the LiDAR auto scan. So the first option that we saw, right? If you don't have a device that supports the LiDAR auto scan because it doesn't have the sensor, you can simply create each room with the manual scan and then you assemble them, right? Let's do one more room. So we put the kitchen here and we're good for now. Now, let's insert another room still with the manual scan. Let's say that we have a meeting room in this case. You can also use the wall mode, but in this case, I'm not sure if it's gonna work because we can try. Let's try it out with the wall mode, because this is not the mode that I normally suggest if you start using the scanning features, because it might be more complicated. Okay, it depends on the light, on the size of the room, and it's not so super intuitive as the other two options, but of course it works perfectly. So it's a matter of taste, right? So here we have our wall. Okay, let's go ahead in here. Okay, now we can do here exit AR. Could be good, let's take a look, because the light, it's a bit interesting in this room. And it didn't pop out because I saw it in the little option, in the little 2D image. What happened? I had other, let's say, lights here that might have been recognized as openings, as something different. So I had like a room inside a room. You probably saw it. So we can try one more time if we want. Like, also very important note, guys, we do these videos live with arrows also, so you see what could have happened, what could I do if this happens, because it's the aim of this live, it's not to show you the perfection of me scanning perfectly each room and creating the flow plan of the century, right? So it's to see together how to go ahead and see what could have been wrong. Okay, so let's do insert room. I do the manual scan one more time. We can try again to do a private office in this case one more time. Maybe I will try to start from another corner. Let's see if it works. So we can do like this. We start here, right? We can do, maybe I'm skipping this super intense light next to me, which is one of the worst things while you're scanning your room. Okay, so let's go ahead. I try to skip the wardrobe here, the cupboard, to see if it's, let's see if it's working. Because the cupboard, it's also white and it's also reflecting this incredible light that we have in the recording room. Okay, I made it, I think. Okay, let me see. Exit AR. Yes, I'm sure. It didn't pop out somehow. That's interesting. I don't know why. Okay, let me just re-add the room with the corners. Let's do a meeting room. Okay, let's move the iPad and go. Let's deactivate the wall mode. I think it's really a bit complicated with this super powerful light. I know that it's hard to believe, but okay. So now we go ahead here to the other corner. You see that with the corners it's perfectly fine. I tap on done. Let me rotate one more time because I have the cable. I go up to the ceiling. Here we go. Now we can scan the openings. We didn't do it before, but we can do it now. So we have our door here. Then we have our window, which is a bit big. Let me do undo. Let me try again. Okay, like this. And this is our window. And we try also with this other window. If you have a window which is open, right? It's not like my window here. Let me go back in here. Go to the corner and this, because this is pitch black, right? So it doesn't really know what I'm doing, what I want to scan, what is this. But if it's a regular window, you just tap on it as we did for the door and it's being recognized right away. Like this, you just have to go to a corner and you create that square, the red square, right? Okay, perfect. Now exit AR because we have everything. And here we go. Okay, now we can do edit layout. We position it, let's say here. Okay. I think I forgot to tell it that it was a window and it didn't add it, but it's absolutely fine. So we can add it from here and we duplicate it. So we position them here and here we go. Perfect. Okay, you see that we have all our rooms. If we want, we can, of course, edit the rooms later at any time, right? We can also add a corner if we have something, let's say here. Okay, we don't have a corner like this, but you can do it then later, okay? If something hasn't been scanned right away as you wanted. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just trying to be inside the image and to see your questions. Okay, but the two, okay, Henrik, hi. Adjacent wall thicknesses are just guesswork, right? Okay, you can change the thickness of the interior walls and exterior walls. You can, I know where this question goes because I know that a lot of you guys are waiting for this feature to be released, but you cannot change the thickness of a wall, of a single wall, because I understand that it's something very useful, especially in Europe where you have older houses, right? And you always, or a lot of times, you have walls that are different. What you could do is, okay, adding photos and notes, we know, but you could also add an extra wall, for example, or one thing that I did for a project that I was creating for someone in my family, you could enter a room. Now, let's imagine that here, in this wall here, we have a different thickness. We could do one thing as a workaround. Let's say, okay, here, I'm adding a corner, I'm pulling in this little wall because here, confirm, I have a wall that's thicker than the rest. Okay, so then I could go on insert room. I was thinking insert a filler, and here we select a filler wall. Okay, so we position it here and voila. If you want, you don't have to leave it like with stripes if you don't like it, right? We say it always, we can make it black so it's aligned with the style of your project, and you know that you have a thicker wall in that case. Like the scanning is of course not able to tell the thickness of a wall because it cannot go through the wall, right? It's the same thing with the windows, right? So now my windows are black, so the LiDAR scan or the scan in general doesn't really know that's a window because it's black. So it looks like a wall, okay? So you also have to think a bit about the technology itself. Not everything is doable yet, but everything improves, right? So depending on the technologies that we have available, we also improve the features and everything in the app. I hope this answers your question with the thickness, Henrik. If not, let me know, but I think it's a good workaround for now. Okay. So, okay, it doesn't work very common with open spaces. Okay, now we have here also another question, Jorge. Doesn't work for open spaces, which means I can't use it for 70% of my work. Okay, and I read all three questions because it's the same topic that I'm going to answer you. It doesn't work for open spaces. Ah, okay, sorry, it was a similar comment. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, if you have open spaces, it's maybe better. It depends on the white, right? There's not an official room size that's the limit for the LiDAR auto scan to work. So with auto scan, I mean the first option that we used, right? So if you do insert room auto scan, right? And we start, let's say here, commercial, shared office. So with this feature, you have to try, because it depends how big is your room, how big is the open space that you're trying to scan. Okay, because it works actually with very wide rooms, but if you have a room or an open space that's really, really wide, like commercial spaces, okay, it might have problems, but not because we don't want you to scan open spaces, because it depends on the technology itself also, okay? So here you also see, if I go like this, you don't see it, but there's a light pointing directly here on this window, which is pitch black because it's closed, right? And it doesn't really know what is this. Like, no one at home has something like this, which is completely black. Okay, even if you close the window from the outside, it will be scanned properly, right? Just like this, it's a bit more difficult because you see it looks like the wall for the LiDAR sensor. So we do okay. But anyway, I would rather use the manual scan if you have a big open space. Now, I confirm anyway, this is also a beautiful example. If you have spaces that are missing, you see down there, I have some little like dotted lines. I try. Let's do confirm scan. Done. Now we keep these settings. If we want, maybe we can also do save video recording in this case, so I can show you where it is in the end. Okay, we have our office. One window has been detected. It's fine. Then we can simply duplicate it here. We can put it in down here. Okay, edit layout, and we move it, let's say here. Okay, well, maybe it was more intelligent to put it like this. Okay, with the windows outside. But if you have a very wide open space, now let me put my tablet on the table. Option one, you use the manual scan and you then check, right? So you can go from corner to corner, or if it's a huge room, you can go from corner to corner. When you're, let's say, in the middle of the room, you go to the other side. So you cut the room in half and you scan the first half, then you scan the second half, you connect them. And if you know the measurements, it's fine. Otherwise, you can simply connect a Bluetooth laser meter and you have 100% accuracy anyway, right? This would be an option. Or you simply create a square room that works also perfectly fine. And then you connect a Bluetooth laser meter. Like, these little Bluetooth laser meters are pretty affordable in my opinion. So this is like a little Bosch PLR40C. It's a little laser that I personally like to use, but also other lasers. It's up to you what you like. And then you have your measurement. So if you have an open space, the LiDAR auto scan may not work if it's too wide. Okay, so it will improve, in my opinion, for sure. It's something pretty new, right? We have it since a couple of years, one year and a half. So it's something pretty new in the world of the technology. So everything improves. So this will also improve, I'm sure. But try a different way. Okay, if you have a very wide space that you already saw that's not really working with the auto scan, I would use manual scan and laser, or just create a square room and then connect the laser so you have your measurements and you're good to go. Okay, now let me move here. Try to make myself long. Okay, the radiators, the pistons sont pas représentés. Okay, I'm going to answer in English so everyone can understand. I didn't really scan the radiators, but the radiators are being seen normally with the manual scan. So once you finish your manual scan, let's say you go from corner to corner, you scan your doors and windows, you can also scan the radiators. The auto scan doesn't always scan the radiators. when I do my scannings, normally I add them manually afterward. So just in case you were wondering why I didn't have the radiators, it's because I also didn't really point a lot on that on the radiators themselves. One is under the table and the other one is there. So but normally I would, if they are not being scanned, just add them manually. Okay. Copy. Hi. Okay, there are open spaces in a small condominium and houses. Yes. The concept of an open kitchen. Okay, next to the family room. The other issues I have is scanning the first floor and the stairway. I know. Okay. I'm thinking open space with the kitchen. Okay. A good thing, let me get my tablet so we can see it a bit better. If you have a, let's say, an open space that you classically have in the houses in the US, right? So you have this beautiful open kitchen with the living room that's all together in general. Um, it depends on how you would, first of all, it depends on how you would like to see your statistics in the project. So if you want to see the kitchen separated with the square feet, I mean, right? Kitchen separated from the living room, from the bathroom, etc. Or if you say, no, I have kitchen and living room all together, well, the bathroom is separated. That it makes sense. But if you want to have your open space all together, you could also merge the rooms. So if you say, for example, you have, let me take another project that I have with columns. So here, right? We have this floor with some columns, okay? So let's say that here in this blue room, we have the kitchen. I put it down so you can see also the comments and the floor plan. You can see that we have the columns there. I added a stair. So this is something like an open space. It's a living room with a kitchen, okay? It's also very big, but what we could do is to create more rooms and then merge them, or we add the like create just one big room and we add elements like, I don't know, if we have a little wall like this right here, I can show you in 3D. So it could be something like this. Let's say here on top we have the kitchen, down here we have the living room. Normally you should be able to go through also with the LiDAR auto scan, because I did last year a project that had exactly a like first floor that was a big open space. We had like a giant corridor, the living room, the kitchen, it was all together, and then just at the end of the corridor we had the bedrooms and bathroom. So what I did was to create the kitchen and the living room together. Then I created the corridor. So let's say here, right? Let's imagine that I'm going to change this room a bit so we can see it together. Okay, so let's say that here, I'm going to split the room. So we create a corridor, okay? So we have a kitchen here, we have a living room here, where you see the columns, and we have the hallway down here. So we can do edit layout, merge rooms, and I'm going to, didn't want to move everything. I just wanted to merge the corridor here. So you see I have my big living space like that. I know that with the stairs it's a bit tricky. So when I have the stair, I can leave the space and add it manually, because the stair, guys, it's a really complicated element from a technical point of view. We are aware of these little, let's say, issues with the stairs, but let's say that here we have our stairs that's going down maybe in the other direction or like this, right? We can also leave a space if we say, but the stair, it's not included in my room. We can also try. Normally, you don't add objects in the blank space, right? But if we do something like this, we could say, okay, I can try and move the stair down there. If you see no glitches, you can try this thing, right? So you see, okay, the stair is not included in the calculation of the room. Okay, so you have it like this. It's like a workaround. Okay, we have to play with the magic plan. Okay, I've been using it for many years. Okay, that's fine. That's nice. Thank you. Okay. But yes, I know if you have like more rooms together as an open space, also if you have a loft, right, with a lot of glasses and maybe also glass walls, you could create a big room and then add separate, right? Like, let me share the screen one more time. So we could say, okay, we scanned our room. Now we want to add some elements, right? So we can add not a corner. Yeah, we can add a corner if you want to move something like this, or if we say, okay, add a wall. Now it's giant, so we can do it smaller. We can say like this one. Also here, you can check with your Bluetooth laser meter if you want, or simply log the measurement manually. You just have to play around because actually everything is possible. You just have to find a different workaround if you see that the path that you are starting or that you're using, it's not ideal. But normally you're able to create every kind of space. Okay. So I saw also a lot of projects from you guys that are amazing. And at this point, little note that I always forget to say, we have our magicplan community where you can also share your projects with other users. So if you have questions, if you have tips or issues, whatever, you want to share your project or a part of a flow plan with other people asking, hey, I have this issue, how did you solve this in your situation? Or maybe you say, hey, I had this issue in this and that situation, but I solved it like this. It can also be useful for other users and you can discuss with other people. So I will put the link to the magicplan community under this video so you can check it out if you didn't yet. And it's a nice way also that you don't really have to contact us if you don't want to. Maybe sometimes you don't really want to talk to me or to someone here. You can talk to other users in the community, right? Okay, I see that you guys have no more questions. So if everyone is happy, I hope that we saw enough. Let me see if you guys have other questions because Instagram is separated, so it's not appearing. I'm checking here because I see that maybe you guys have questions here. Okay, we have one question. We use magicplan a lot, but a big problem is that I can go scan forward after complete the room, or am I doing wrong? Second question. Okay, I can answer. Can I add a wall after measuring in the office? Yes, you can. Okay. Now, let me do one thing. We can also do like this because we already scanned this room a couple of times, but it doesn't matter. If you guys have questions, I'm happy to continue. Let me create a new project. Let's go here. I tap here on third floor. Okay. Now, I'm going to scan this office. Let's imagine that this is your office. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So let's say, okay, I will insert a room. I imagine that you mentioned or you are using the LiDAR auto scan, right? You didn't say if you're using the auto scan or manual scan. Okay, I'm doing it with the LiDAR auto scan, which is quicker here with our light, like in an aquarium. So let's do a shared office. Let's scan it. The next time I will reduce the light so we don't have the reflection everywhere. Okay, now here we have our door. I'm trying not to move too much so you guys can still see me. Okay, this is a door. Yes, it's an hinge door. Perfect. Let's do like this. The cupboard. Okay, I go quickly, so don't wonder if you don't see maybe the table or something. Okay, we also had the same thing before with our giant lights, but okay, we have at least a table. Now, if we want, we can take also our picture, right? Maybe someone just joined and didn't know. So while you're scanning, you can also take pictures and you're good to go. Now, I will finish my scan like this. Okay, let me see. Give it a sec. Okay, now I confirm the scan. So to answer the first question, when you do the scan, and okay, then you were using probably the auto scan, I guess. Go scan forward after complete the room. Okay, so now if you would have another room, so you're scanning an entire apartment, right? You simply exit. You will have this exact screen, okay, on your tablet, on your phone. You have to exit the room. So here I have my door, right? I would open it, I would go out, and then once I'm on the door, I can tap on the red dot to say scan another room, and I start right away. Better, if you can, to close the door behind you, or at least put it closer. If it's just an opening, it's okay. Just try not to scan directly through the opening, otherwise the LiDAR sensor thinks sometimes that the room is continuing, but you can change it later. But you would exit now and scan the next room. At some point I will find the settings so that I can show you while we're live, but there is a recorded video here on YouTube, or if you're watching me now on YouTube, there's a video that I did in an apartment that was just it was like renovated from fire damages, and we scanned each room. So you can check that video to see how to scan an entire apartment. Okay, now let's say that we're done. You have the same settings that we had before, right? You decide what to include or what to hide. We leave it like this with the video recording. We generate the floor plan. Now, to answer the other question that you had, I'm going to delete this giant door. It was just my wall here with the flashing lights. Okay, so we have it down here. I also duplicate the window, so we have it exactly as it is. Now, if I would have a wall somewhere, right? If you have a wall that it's coming out, maybe a pony wall, like a smaller wall that it's coming out here in the middle of the room, or it's maybe just not smaller, it's just a part of the wall, right? It's not splitting the entire room. You could do it with the manual scan, in my opinion, because you can really go from corner to corner and you can scan around that wall, so you will have it right away in your floor plan. Otherwise, you can also edit later. So now it's later. So we can select the wall and we do add wall, right? So we can make it smaller. Maybe I go back to meters because I see that's a question from someone from Germany. So it's maybe easier to understand. I can do 1.5 meters, right? And we have our wall that we added afterward. If you want to change the entire room, you're doing renovation works or whatever, you can split also the room. So I delete the wall and you can add an entire extra wall, right? So you can do not like this. Wanted to split the room like this. So you can then add your door, right? If it's not a door, it's an opening, swap door and opening, okay? So you can really play around afterward. It's not fixed, it's not stuck there. You create your room and then it's always editable. You can edit as many walls as you need. Okay, I hope this answers your question. And okay, so we had the question, how do I do when I change the room? So you just start scanning after you leave the first room. And otherwise, I mean, if you start scanning the other room while you're still in this room, they could be a bit overlapped afterward, because I've seen projects. Let me just insert a random room, at a square room, dining room. So if you see that you don't leave the room, you start scanning the next room and you're still here, and you have maybe the project like this, in the end you see dotted lines, it just means that the rooms have been overlapped. So you can simply, if it's not too bad, it's not a problem, you can move the room and it's done. So just like that, right? So you can always edit it afterward. If you have 10 rooms that are overlapping and it's getting difficult to position them, maybe you can rescan them. But if the measurements are good, then you can move them just like that and you have your floor plan. Okay, you guys, we saw a lot of things today. Thank you for your questions. Always like it when we are live and we also have some interactions. Then it's not only me talking. I also try to answer your questions. You're welcome. Okay, at a wall, yes. I think it was okay. The walls that we added. If not, we can see again what we could do in another live video. Okay, doke. Perfect. You guys, thank you so much for your time. One more time to those that joined us maybe later. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy this day. I hope you have a beautiful weather, maybe with snow or with sun. Maybe it's depending on where you are, right? Yesterday we also had a bit of snow here, so it was really Thanksgiving and like winter weather right now. Okay, I'll see you guys next week with the getting started session so we can see together how to start using magicplan. So for those that are new, it will be perfect. You guys, thank you again for your time. And as I always say at the end of our videos, depending on the time zone where you are, I wish you a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye.